You're watching the Coach Bo Frye Show, brought to you by the following fine sponsors. Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, All Blaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Buenaries Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition to the Bo Frye Show. I'm Joe Hurlbert, alongside head coach Bo Frye. And Coach, we took a tough one on the chin last week on the road against Wallpock. We lost 42-7. Obviously, we'll talk about some of the clips, but there has to be some positive things that came out of that ball game, and we'll touch base with them in just a little bit. But first of all, let's look at some of the scores that took place last week in the Western Buckeye League, and you can tell me if there's anything that stands out to you. Bath bounces back. They defeated Kenton 48-6. Shawnee over Salina 35-21. Van Wert continues to roll, and we'll see them in the second half of the season over Defiance 36-27. Elida all over OG 24-7. That's this week's opponent for the Rough Riders, and of course Wapakoneta 42, St. Mary's 7. But let's take a look at the standings as they shape up for week number 6. There's two undefeated teams at the top, and that's Wapakoneta and Shawnee, both with 4-0 WBL marks. Wapakoneta is the only undefeated team overall at 5-0. Bath is 3-1, followed by St. Mary's, Van Wert, Elida, and then Defiance, Kenton, Salina at 1-3, and OG at 0-4, 0-5 overall. So things are still can go either way in the middle of that Western Buckeye League. Of course, the state playoff pairings, or not the pairings, but the rankings came out this week. Riders got some work to do on that end, but I think the second half of the season favors you.
There's no bad opponent on the schedule.
I know. So, but when we look at things that took place last week, your overall, before we get into the clips, your overall assessment of the Wallpock game.
I think we had thought our kids played hard. I thought we were tough. I thought there was a lack of execution in a couple areas, and that's coaching. And I'll take that completely on the chin myself. I didn't bring any friends today. All right, I'll eat this one on my own. But yeah, we just had lack of execution in some areas, and we got to be better as coaches. Yeah,
we'll take a look at some of the clips. But when you look at the overall statistics, in all honesty, very evenly matched when it comes down to it. Time of possession, we dominated 28 minutes to 13. Total yards, give that edge to Wallpock, but they did that mostly through the air, because on the ground we outrushed them 173 yards to 114. We caused Wallpock 2 fumbles. They lost it, so we had 2 takeaways in the ball game. We dropped the football twice, recovered them both, so we didn't lose in that regards. But nonetheless, on paper, it was a pretty close ball game. So this is the kickoff. Start the ball game, and of course, I think you have 2 excellent kickoff returners and Dylan Fink and Trey Moore.
Yeah, they're gifted. Trey Moore. This is actually the second kickoff return. The first one we got a penalty on. We got to be smarter on that area, coach it better. But yeah, Trey's a heck of a returner. We got our things set up, and it worked out well. Trey's a heck of a return man.
This is a nice sweep by Luke Rammel.
Yeah, it was clicking at this point. It was rolling. We got on the edge. Heck of a block by Schmitty. And Luke got out running, man. Luke's not bad, man. Luke's been playing running back for a long period of time, and he's a good kid.
Good ball carrier. Mm-hmm. Eight rushes in the ball game for 40 yards. Mm-hmm. That was his longest run there of 19 yards. Average 5-point yards per rush. Can't ask for more.
Yeah.
Here's Caleb Smith. He'll carry this football down inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, we hit one on him. obviously, you know, Schmidt's a great person. Pretty good when we block for him. So, yeah. But Schmidt's going to run hard, and you're going to see a lot of Caleb Schmidt the rest of the way. He's a good running back.
Yep. This is Aiden Meinerding with a Rough Rider score. He gets a lot of push, a lot of help from the people behind him.
Yeah, when all 11 are working
There you
together,
go.
it's great things. We
Takes
weren't
it.
pushing the quarterback. You don't push the quarterback on that, but we push everybody else. So, yeah.
Push the lineman.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's good when we're going forward.
It is.
Yeah.
And here again, this is Brady Triplett. He puts another one in the end zone. I think at this point in time, this may have been his 10th in a row inside the goal.
Brady's
end
gifted.
zone. And,
Brady's very gifted. Lucky to have him.
And I'm not sure if I pulled this clip or not, but we tried that field goal, and he had the distance.
Missed by about an inch. From my angle, it looked good.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of those are the little opportunities that we have to make. If you're going to beat a good opponent, you got to make those.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a nice gain on a counter by Dylan Fink.
Mm-hmm. Fink, he's good, man. You're going to continue to see him for the next couple years. He's a heck of a running back. He got some quickness, got some move to him, but he runs hard.
This is another nice run by Dylan.
Yeah, got outside.
And here again, you got your blockers out front, and he hangs onto the football and picks up.
Yeah, I think our effort's great.
Picks up some nice yards.
We're getting there. When we block people, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the field goal here, and I tell you what, this from our perspective, he's got plenty of leg to that, plenty.
Yeah, he just pushed it.
Just pushed it. A little bit.
That happens, man. They're kids,
It
you
does.
know. And,
this was kind of a crazy ball game because in the first half there was no wind at all.
Nah.
Then in the second half, it was almost like there was like a thunderstorm blowing in because the wind picked up.
Did it really?
I don't know if that adjusted anything. You probably don't even notice.
Didn't even notice.
But it picked up considerably.
Whatever wind hit us blew us right off the field too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this is the Riders get this turnover. This is kind of a wild
Yeah.
turnover. The ball rolls around a little bit.
Yeah. We kept letting them. We got to tackle, man. I mean, that's on us as coaches to make it better. And heck of a hustle by Trey there, though. And getting the ball out, and then Johnny picks it up. And at this point, man, we were rolling, man. We had them where we wanted them. And when you're gonna beat a good team, you can't make mistakes, and you gotta continue to play.
And I think probably, I don't know if I got this on the next clip, Logan. You can go to the next one. Probably don't, but I think right about after that was where we went and tried to pass. They batted it up in the air.
Yeah, it fell right in the kid's hands.
Exactly.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just not on your side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's another nice run by Luke Rammel.
Yeah, heck of a job here. Nice little handback reverse by us. We'd like to see us stay on blocks. If we stay on some blocks, we're a better football team. Meinerding getting out. It was clicking here, man. We were rolling, and but we got to execute, and we got to be better as players, coaches, as a program to make these things happen.
We talked with Aiden last week when he was on the program about this, and he said it's always when you run out there. He says it's pretty much run first.
Yeah,
and he had the corner.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and
nice
he does
pickup.
that. Aiden's a great kid, and he'll continuously get better.
Defense rises to the occasion here, and they get a sack on Caleb Moyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first half, man, we were playing hard. We're getting to him. He kind of falls down, but still a sack, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one thing, I mean, he may not have beat St. Mary's with his legs last Friday, but his arm was, he was right on.
Yeah, he's accurate. He's
14
very
for
good.
15. That's accuracy.
Yeah.
354 yards, 71 was his longest, and 3 TDs. But yeah, he's very good. He's very talented quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just where,
There it is, right there. He just batted the ball up in the air and it lands in his hands, and riders are moving.
Yeah. The game will humble you real quick.
It will. And, so, and you're right. You talk about mistakes and cleaning things up, and sometimes it's not that you make mistakes. That's part of the game. It's when you make them. St. Mary's is moving the football, and then all of a sudden we had an unfortunate block and an interception.
But as a football team and as coaches, we're not comfortable enough in our fundamentals yet to make the plays that need to happen. We're just not fundamentally sound enough. I mean, and that's just football. And until we get to that point, it's gonna happen like that.
Yeah. So this is nice punt coverage, special teams.
Yeah. Yeah, heck of a tackle by Fink. Yeah, that's great. You know, sometimes you see we're great. You know what I mean? That's great coverage, great punt. And the next one, we shank it out of bounds the next time we punt.
I was going to say, you know, that shank brought Brady's average down a little bit. He averaged 28 yards per punt. Normally he's in the 35, 36 yards per punt. This is just good concentration here by Dylan Fink on this particular pass play.
Yeah.
I think this got batted up in the air, I believe.
Yeah, good job getting him away by monitoring him.
Yep, and he just focused on it.
Fink is a very good athlete. He's just not very big. But a good kid, plays hard, works hard. Yeah.
So most of the damage was done in the second half. Of course, obviously, Wallpock scores. They put in a running clock in the second half, and then that was pretty much it. But the final score was 42-7. Of course, you touch base on some things that got to be cleaned up. But when you're running on all cylinders,
we're not a bad football team.
Things go pretty well.
We're gonna be okay.
Yep. And we've seen that. We've seen you on all cylinders against Salina.
Yeah.
We've seen you the Riders on all cylinders against Defiance. And when you do, good things happen.
We have to quit playing to the highs and lows of the game.
Absolutely.
We have to be more consistent in our fundamentals and our approach to practice, to our approach to everything we do. We're good kids. We're working hard. I mean, it's not effort's not the problem. We just have to be better in every aspect. So.
I get that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to touch base on OG this week as the Riders will be on the road. Rider Nation Station will be there to bring you all the action with Zach Farrell, Mark Sisko bringing you all the action. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You're watching the Coach Bo Frye Show, brought to you by the following fine sponsors. Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Buenaries Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Welcome back to the Bo Frye Show. I'm Joe Hurlbert alongside head coach Bo Frye. Let's take a look at some of the games that are taking place around the Western Buckeye League. Things should start to shake out here as far as the standings are concerned, as some very good teams are starting to, match up. But here again, in the Western Buckeye League, on any given Friday, any team can beat anybody.
No, 100%.
I think that's how balanced the Western Buckeye League. Of course, Elida is on the road at Bath. Kenton will be at Salina, Shawnee at Defiance. That'll be a good contest. Wapakoneta and Van Wert. That'll be a big game in the Western Buckeye League. Van Wert continues to play well. Of course, Wallpock's still undefeated, and of course, St. Mary's will be on the road at OG. Of course, let's talk about this week's opponent, Bo. OG is 0-5 at this point in time. That's not a record they're used to, is it?
They can be 0-50, and they're coached by Ken Schreiner. They play us well all the time. We've been running the same thing at each other for 30 years. You know what I mean? This is going to be a grinder.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware of that. We can't just roll up there thinking that they're 0-5 and this and that. Doesn't happen with OG. They play us well all the time.
Exactly. So they got good athletes. They've always had good athletes. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, I've seen them when they've had years where they've had big kids, and I've seen them when they've had not so big kids, but quick, fast, elusive kids. How do you see their overall team speed? And
they have a big O-line. They have a big D-line. They're very well coached. They're very beat up. They have a lot of injuries. They're playing a freshman quarterback. But they're not bad. I mean, there's nowhere in this film I'm watching thinking, oh, they're unfundamentally sound here or unfundamentally sound there. No, they're a good football team. There's not a bad football team in the Western Buckeye League.
So it'll be a challenge, and of course, as I mentioned, Rider Nation Station will be there to bring you all the action starting around 7 o'clock. So another road trip. Hopefully we'll put some things together this week in practice, have good practices. The energy will be up. The attitude will be positive. And we'll take it on the road to OG and see how it shakes out.
We will.
All right.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Bo Frye Show. For head coach Bo Frye, I'm Joe Hurlbert. Until next time, so long, everyone.
You're watching the Coach Bo Frye Show, brought to you by the following fine sponsors: Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, All Blaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Buenaries Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.